Hit the Target podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Target podcast, powered by Hollywood Bets. I'm your host, Deshaj, and with me in studio today are European football analysts Nigel, Naicker, and Lilitha, Bodlani.
Great to be here, gents.
Thank you so much, Tish.
All right, gents, let's get straight into it. The UEFA Champions League second leg semi-finals are upon us. Now, in the first leg, Dortmund drew first blood, beating PSG 1-0 on home soil, whilst Bayern Munich and Real Madrid played out a 2-2 draw at the Allianz Arena. Any of those maybe catch your eye?
I think for me, the one that caught my eye was the Bayern Munich, especially because they were at home.
Yeah.
Kane, it's literally the last silverware they could possibly win. Then we go to Los Blancos, and they've never lost in the Champions League before.
Yeah.
So time will tell whether they can lift it. Jude Bellingham going off, that was a bit of a eye-raising moment, but we'll see what will happen in Spain.
I have to agree. I think two titans of the game in the European stage, 20 Champions League titles between them. We've been treated to a really good action-packed game, 2-2.
So you're saying it's maybe a fair result? You think the result was a true reflection of the game?
I felt Bayern could have capitalized in the early minutes. I thought they started like a house on fire.
Yeah.
Maybe could have taken their chances, but you see Madrid, they know how to navigate these games and come away with a very good result at the end.
It was special for Toni Kroos as well, coming back to his
Bavaria,
old club, and the way even the commentary was saying that as he got off the bus, he still knows the people, from the locker room guys all the way through to, the security. So for him to open up the game like that with that assist, I think Los Blancos really should have won that one. But hey, man, it's on at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Let's actually have a chat about that assist, because you saw Vinicius dragging the defender Kim out of position, and then on the turn, you saw Toni Kroos saying, I'm going to play it, and then before you know it, the ball is in the back of the net.
It's a weird one for Madrid, because this season they've played with almost like a false nine.
Yeah.
And so Vinicius has been the one that is really much reliant on scoring. And then you got your Jude, Rodrigo. So no, it was a fair assist from Toni Kroos.
Yeah.
And he can only get better. He's in his late 30s, I would say, but he's still playing like he's 20-odd.
Totally agree. I think he's aging like fine wine. You look at the assist, he changed the game in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
With the weight of pass was crazy, and these things happen in a split second, and for him to recognize it and play the ball to perfection, it's just out of this world.
All right, Nigel, let me ask you this. Tactically, could that be defended against? Because why is Kim vacating his position? Everybody knows, the whole of Europe knows that Vinicius plays on the break. You give him space and time, he's going to score.
I think it's a bit of a catch-22 situation there. If Kim doesn't go with him and then he receives the ball in space, you get Vinny facing the defense in acres of space. So you do go with him, you don't go with him, you will get punished. And Vinicius Jr. has proven that in the past as well.
Of course, the next leg is going to be in Spain. And, as you rightly pointed, Madrid haven't lost this season in the Champions League. Are they going to do it?
Oh, that's the tricky question. But I think for me, I would like Bayern to actually go with a win with this one. I would like for them. I feel like they're the underdogs going into the Santiago Bernabeu showdown.
Yeah.
And they will have changes. I hope they have changes to the team. As rightly Nigel said, Kim was the weak link there. So hopefully De Ligt will be fit enough. I hope Alphonso Davies comes back in, because I see they're applying what Barcelona used to do when they put in a right back at a left back spot. So hopefully full strength team heading into Wednesday's clash.
Yeah. Of course, the elephant in the room is that Thomas Tuchel has announced he will be leaving at the end of the season, or rather the Bayern board said that Tuchel will be leaving us. A petition has been signed by about 12,000 Bayern Munich fans saying that they want him to remain as the head coach after the season. But for all intensive purposes, these are his final few matches as a head coach. Do you think he's going to deliver the Champions League?
That's wow. I think he can.
Yeah.
We've seen it, and the colors of Chelsea.
Yeah.
How he came in late, but then still he won it. So I think the Champions League has always been favorable for this coach. So, what an amazing turnaround it would be from potentially not having the job towards the end of the season to now being jobless, but having a Champions League winners medal.
Yeah.
So I hope
gives me goosebumps, really. Yeah. Gosh. He is the first German tactician to actually reach 3 semi-finals with different clubs. Of course, he's done it with Chelsea, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Now with Bayern and PSG.
Yeah, it just goes to show his pedigree in the tournament. I think he's managed 3 big teams, just like you mentioned, and to get them so far, he knows how to navigate these 2-legged Champions League ties against good opposition.
Yeah.
So top manager.
Do you think he's got the best out of Harry Kane?
I think, the stats are showing it. Kane has 43 goals. He's the most goals in Europe's top 5 leagues.
It's ridiculous. He's probably the most informed striker right now.
100%. So you do feel hard done by that they didn't win the league, but he's performing at a level that is just next level.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at the flanks now. Lilitha mentioned Alphonso Davies, but Leroy Sané cutting in as the likes Ian Robben used to do, Ribery. A lot of danger in those Bayern flanks. Do you think he's going to be the one to maybe turn this tie?
I think they'll look to him. I think he's one of the key players that can turn things around on a dime.
Any game, actually.
Yeah, 100%. I think you saw it in his goal as well. I think Bayern were phasing out of the game and then he just turned things on.
A moment of brilliance, really.
100%, and gets you back into the game. And it's shown with his form as well. His stats in the league has been excellent. So he really is one of their key players.
Yeah. Let's look at the opposing side now. Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham, first season, most probably going to deliver the La Liga. Is he going to follow that up with the Champions League?
I hope so. As you said, he's been delivering it up since he started. And, wearing the iconic number 5 jersey, hitting the goals that he's hitting.
Breaking records, yeah?
I mean, it's there for him, for the stars, really, for him to not only lift the La Liga, but also potentially the Champions League.
100%. I think he's revitalized this Madrid team. When you looked at the squad, when he joined, to come in and add so many goals and fill the shoes in his first season, it really is incredible.
Of course, he's grown from Borussia Dortmund, because even at that club, he was the captain. And in his first season compared to the second season, he got forward a lot more and his goals, his output increased. And, Dortmund did go further in the Champions League. They were in the knockout stages, and you look at him now, what he's doing, it's like a different player altogether.
100%. I think hats off to him as well. He's playing in a more advanced role now. He never played in that role for Dortmund or for England. And now he's adding the most valuable thing to his game, goals. And winning Real Madrid games in clutch moments.
You look at the El Clasico as well. I believe the tie was deadlocked at 2-2, and you saw him making a lung-busting run. I think it was in the 93rd minute or something, to the back post, unmarked, had a tap in, really.
Up steps Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
But fair play to the coach as well, Carlo Ancelotti. He's been there and done that, and arguably he's Real Madrid's most successful coach in their era. So for him to get a young player like Jude and say, listen, you've got the trust of the coach and the squad, you want to play in this position, and fair play to the coach for doing that.
100%. Gents, finally, the home ground advantage, Santiago Bernabeu. It's going to be a sea of white. Is the tie over?
I think it is. I think Madrid, their stats coming into it when they've drawn a game in their first away.
Avoided defeats. I think we read the same stat. Yeah, as long as they avoided defeats.
18 of their last 19 games.
Just that Ajax
Champions League ties. Yeah,
Ajax fixture,
100%. So they have the pedigree, they have the know-how, and you definitely tip them to get over the line at home.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I'm a betting man, I would really go with Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Simply because they have the squad. They have, if we did play the whole home and away legs, if that was still a thing.
Oh, the away goal rule.
Yes, if that was still a thing. But other than that, I think Bayern really wanted, it's Tuchel's last one.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, his first season, he needs, look, I'm an Arsenal supporter, but he needs some sort of trophy in his first season.
He does need a club trophy. I mean, he's got many individual accolades, but honestly, you don't really win anything. Yeah, you don't win anything with an individual trophy.
So I'm going with Bayern on this one.
All right. Do you think maybe in 90 minutes or maybe penalties, extra time, is that what you maybe see
think
this
he'll
one?
go to penalties.
Yeah, and then Bayern to win.
Yeah, we've seen from the last one that Madrid, whether they did or not, they did go through to penalties with the Man City. So maybe, but Bayern.
All right. Opposing picks over here, so we're going to have to wait and see how those ones pan out. All right, let's move our attention over to the second semi-final of the week. That is, of course, Dortmund away to PSG. Mbappe was quiet in the first leg in Germany. Do you think he's going to come back with a bang in Paris?
I think he will. I think Dortmund were very good to keep him quiet at home. Even Dembele on the other side. But in France, it's a different story with the home crowd. And
But fair play to Dortmund, you know, the way they were able to silence arguably one of the best players in the world right now. You can see from the tactics, and I mean, there's nothing like the yellow army. I don't know whether it's the yellow wall or the yellow
wall.
But the atmosphere there, it was just outstanding.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a kind of place that they live and breathe for their club. So full credit to them. And let's hope Dortmund can wrap up the tie.
Yeah, of course, Mbappe has come out and said that this is going to be his last season at PSG. Whether or not that's true, because we have seen players, I don't want to mention any names, but do that in the past. And it turns out that it's just a move for them to remain and maybe get a better contract, a more improved contract. But, the signs are pointing towards the exit for him.
Yeah, I think it's a transfer saga that has blown on for quite some time now. Hopefully it can be resolved for both parties. PSG cash in on him and he gets a big move. But either way, he needs to perform for his club right now. And I think he has the opportunity to take his team to a Champions League final.
Yeah, obviously he's 90 minutes away from that. And, 1 goal deficit, you can overturn that.
We can. And it's Mbappe of all players. He deserves, at the very least, Champions League. PSG have always been a club that were so close, but couldn't get it over the line. And they're really reliant on him to bring it over the line. And it'll be a fascinating contest to see.
Yeah. Do you think Enrique made the correct substitution? I believe Kolo Muani came off the bench, but you had players like Marco Asensio, Lee Kang in. There's also, I forget, there was a third player on the bench, an attacker. But
Gonzalo's.
Giovanni Ramos, the forward, the
striker,
Portuguese.
the number 9.
Yeah. Those are 3 attacking substitutions, but he went with Kolo Muani. Do you think that was the right move?
I think with Kolo, he has played in the Bundesliga before.
Yeah.
So with that experience, having played Dortmund a couple of times, I think he was in Frankfurt, the team that he was in before he went to PSG. So, the coach Enrique thought, okay, he knows the stadium, he knows the team, he knows probably how to unlock with the players that they have. So why not? Let's just throw him in. And we haven't seen much of him as well, to be fair, in the last 2 ties. So often coaches do that because they want something different. Maybe it's a time for a player to step up. So it'll be interesting to see who is in the front line with Mbappe. Maybe Dembele, maybe Kang Lee, or maybe even Ramos. Yeah. So you never know.
Of course, that central striking berth is important because I'm sure Dembele and Mbappe start on either flank. It's just going to be who's going to be playing through the middle.
I think he might go the same way he went last game with Bakola on the left and Mbappe up front and Dembele on the right.
Yeah,
I think that's very fluid. And you have options off the bench as well. I mean, the experience of Asensio, like you mentioned. So he does have options and he has players who can turn it on.
Yeah. One winger who comes to mind that is bang in form is Jadon Sancho, of course. The former, or rather he is at Manchester United. He's contracted to Manchester United, but on loan at Borussia Dortmund. The man is playing in a UEFA Champions League semi-final and he couldn't crack a starting position at Manchester United.
Crazy. But since he arrived, he's just been red hot at the moment. Sneakily, there was a comment on one of the reporters asking, is he playing like this because he knows the Euros are on the horizon? So, maybe that's added motivation. But, yeah, fair play to him. He's been outstanding since he's left the Red Devils.
Yeah, I believe he was awarded the man of the match in the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then to follow it up with the
In the
performance.
semis as well.
No.
Oh, to back it up, yeah.
With that performance in the semis as well. I think he had 7 dribbles in the first half. I mean, in a Champions League game.
Lightning, yeah.
I mean, these are professionals at the highest level and you're making them look like semi-amateurs.
Amateurs, yeah.
Honestly, 7 dribbles in the first half is really crazy. So yeah, he looks like a different player. It just goes to show like environments make the player.
Yeah.
He was starving at United and it's shown now when you're in a better, conducive team what you can do.
I also want to maybe touch on his relationship with Ten Hag because, this is the same season. What we're talking about is happening in the 2023-24 season.
Yeah, I think he might have felt hard done by with Ten Hag's treatment of him, but you also have to understand where Ten Hag is coming from. He's trying to get his dressing room in order.
Yeah.
You can't accept mediocrity from your players. And at the stage of his career, you would have expected Sancho to be more mature.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he isn't, but these are the things you could consider that Ten Hag had to deal with.
100%. I thought he was going to eventually say sorry for the outburst on social media that he did. And I guess that was really the turning point of the relationship and how he has now said, you know what, let's just get a loan, go somewhere where I was loved, I was celebrated, and, I had really achieved the higher level status that I know I can be in Dortmund. So, yeah, whether he goes back or not, I don't know. But at the moment, he is killing the game right now.
Let's say he has another clinical performance in his locker, drops it in the second leg semi-final. Does Manchester United bring him back or does Dortmund do everything in their power to keep him?
I think Dortmund are going to try to sign him, but knowing Man United and how things have taken over now with a CEO,
football operations, in Ineos.
I think they're going to say, you know what, we're going to lose quite a lot if we let him go. Let him welcome back into the team. I guess they're going to hash it out with Ten Hag. That only remains to be seen. But if he can show those levels he did last night, or in I would say the both semis now, and show it in every weekend basis with Man United, then he's definitely going to be a star.
I guess the question is, does he play for Man United again? Because as we know, there is a 90 minutes left in him in the UEFA Champions League, potentially 180 minutes left, but definitely 90. And of course, with the Euros on the horizon, I'm sure if he's in the squad, they won't make any announcement. But if he's not in the squad, there will definitely be rumors. And yeah, the question remains, is he going to be a Man United player next season?
I think maybe we're going to have to see if Ten Hag is still there. That's going to be a key factor.
Yeah.
Does he go back? Because honestly, I don't see it right now, because if they couldn't work it out currently, how I think it's going to change overnight when he does go back at the end of the season, which is one key factor to consider. Also to consider Jadon Sancho as a player. Why would you want to go back there when you're flourishing in a team where you loved, the fans love you, you're playing at the highest level of football? I don't think they get Champions League. They might get Champions League.
Dortmund are currently fifth, yeah.
And Germany have been awarded the 5th place. So they will get Champions League if that's the case. So why would you come to United in a rebuilding process? And
I guess maybe if he wanted to prove a point, because you can look at Man United and the amount of players who have come through the door in recent history and they just haven't been able to crack it or maybe turn that club around. You look at, as early as Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao. I know Ibra finished second, under Mourinho, and that's maybe the best they've ever been. But lots of players, a whole host have come through the door with the mentality of, we will change this club. And, you look at the recent deliveries or signings, shall I say, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Højlund, Mason Mount, like they've all come in to say, we're buying into the Ten Hag project. We're going to try and change the club. Is it actually, are there signs of improvement? Because again, we are discussing Jadon Sancho and what a career change he's had, but does he go back? That's the whole thing. Like, is there life at Man United?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think there is, I'm not a Man United fan, but I think playing in the Premier League is there's something about that league. It's literally the best league in the world, in my opinion. And, he can come back to Man United apologize to the coach, make amends, and then after that, it's really a thing of, does he replicate the same levels he's been doing in Bundesliga onto the Premier League?
Yeah.
100%. I agree. I think he's a talented boy. If he does come back, he will make a change. If given the keys and, the like trust in Ten Hag. So the decision is in his hands. Let's see.
Yeah, 100%. All right, gents, that being said, the second leg is set for this week. Your prediction between Dortmund and PSG?
I think PSG turn it around 2-0.
Yeah.
I'm also going 2-0 PSG.
So all signs are pointing to a victory for little Parisiens.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Do you think that gives Enrique more time at the helm? Because there have been rumors about a potential sacking earlier in the season, but he has delivered a league title. I believe it's their 10th one in 11 years or something like that.
Wow.
But the main one is the Champions League, and spirited performance from his side.
Yeah, I think getting them this far is an accomplishment already. Probably will get to the final as well. So, like you mentioned with PSG, I think the bar is set to win the Champions League every season, even though they haven't done it in years,
like forever.
Exactly. Yeah. So the league title is just by the way. They will walk that anytime with the squad depth and the resources that they have. So this is the bar, and he's doing really well. So
yeah, I think it's his first season as well. Guiding them to a semi-final spot is no easy feat. Yeah,
100%. But PSG, as rightfully Nigel said, the main thing is Champions League. It's always been tough as a coach coming into PSG with the talented players over maybe 500 million worth of players. I remember there was a time where Neymar and Messi or Neymar and all these players were in the same team and still they couldn't win the Champions League. So it's Mbappe's last one. I think he's going to do it. He's going to finally get the cup all the way to Paris.
All right. Gents, it's been a pleasure unpacking all things European football related to you. Until next weekend. Cheers.
Thank you.
Hit the Target Podcast.